Hey guys, good morning and welcome to another episode of Motorcyclist MC Commute. You guys know the deal this morning. We're going to be riding to the motorcyclist office in Southern California on BMW's 2020 R1250 RS. This is the final MC Commute departing out of Begonia Park in Corona del Mar, California. I'm relocating down to Vista. That's where I purchased a house. So we're going to have a new route departing from there. We're also going to introduce a co-host to this series, my colleague Michael Gilbert. He is the road test editor at cycleworld.com. He will be periodically contributing an MC Commute. Now we got that out of the way, let's throw the helmet on and go for a ride. Well guys, here it is, BMW's 2020 R1250 RS. This is an upright sport naked touring bike from BMW Motorrad out of Berlin, Germany. This motorcycle has the underpinnings of BMW's awesome R1250 GS. It's got that awesome 1254cc Boxer twin. Suspension's a little bit different. Some other things are a little bit different on this bike, but look at the styling. I really like the front end of that bike. It almost looks sort of like an S1000RR, but sort of like an F900 XR2. I love that matte yellow gold finish. It's a very beautiful color. And that Boxer twin, no one makes a Boxer twin. BMW still does. They've been making that thing for 97 years. But enough talking about the R1250 RS. Let's swing a leg on it and see what it's like to ride. All right, guys, here we go. Keyless fob. Not my favorite, but we'll make do today. Push the on button. The keyless fob has to be in proximity of the vehicle. If it falls out of your pocket while you're riding, you are in trouble. Listen to this thing. I love the dash display on these BMW 6.5-inch display. It's the best instrument display in all of motorcycling, and it's been a standard feature since 2019 BMW fitted this technology on its bikes. Ergonomics of this motorcycle. This is a very upright positioned motorcycle. The riding position is very upright. It is very conducive to street riding, comfortable street riding. The handlebar is located on top of the fork clamp, so you don't have to reach very far down to hold on to the bars. The seat is nice and broad. Big, thick, broad seat. Seat height's a little tall. Not terribly, but definitely a little bit. And the foot pegs on this motorcycle, they're reasonably low, but you still have your feet tucked up in more of a sport-like position. I wouldn't say they're excessively relaxed. The foot peg placement definitely combines for a more sporty ride, which is kind of strange because there's a lot of room here from the waist up. The distance from the seat to the handlebar, there's a good amount of room. Conversely, the foot peg, your ankle to your waist, that's a little bit more cramped. So it's kind of a mixed bag. If you're a tall guy like me, you're gonna feel just a hair cramped below the waist, yet from the waist up there's actually a good amount of room here in the cockpit. It's almost a little bit of a stretch, but I like it. I also like how broad this front fairing is. It's very wide. It does a great job of shielding you from the elements of the road. The windscreen is two-place adjustable. You can move it up or down without tools. You just push it up or down. And I like how wide the screen is, but it could be taller. Right now it's actually in its tallest position, and it's still not quite tall enough. away we go, guys. Feel that 1254 boxer twin. That thing rips. Love these engines. BMW's been making these engines in Germany for 97 years. 97 years of horizontally opposed boxer twins. And this 2020 engine is just, it's marvelous. BMW fitted a shift cam, variable valve timing on the intake cam for the 2019 model year. And what that allows is, it allows the intake camshaft to operate in two different configurations. When you're cruising at this speed, it uses a camshaft that boosts torque and gives good fuel mileage. Conversely, when you're giving this thing the beans, wide open throttle, the shift cam maneuvers into the high load configuration, which gives maximum performance. So, and it does so totally seamlessly. You can't even feel it when it's working. Love that technology. This motorcycle has BMW's Gear Shift Assist Pro, which is BMW nomenclature for electronic shifting. So you can work the 6-speed transmission up and down without having to use the clutch. This boosts the acceleration feel when you're giving her the beans. It also elevates chassis stability when you're downshifting at lean into a corner. I love being able to downshift while leaned over with the elevated chassis stability of auto blip. So kudos to BMW for feeding that feature on this motorcycle. It is an option and included in the $3,150 select package, which this motorcycle has. Now, the R1250 GS has BMW's telelever front suspension. This thing operates with a more conventional inverted fork, which is nice. It gives a more traditional motorcycle feel. When you get on the front brake, it has the right amount of compression. Yet the ride quality is still very high on this motorcycle. Just over 5 inches of suspension travel front and back. This R1250 RS, as part of the select package, which we just spoke about, also includes electronic suspension adjustment. So you can use this mode button here. You can use this shock button here to adjust the suspension. It has dynamic and road suspension settings. These settings automatically adjust damping in real time based on vehicle load. Right now we're in the dynamic setting. Now we're in road, as you can see on that display here. Let's put the cruise control on, guys, so we won't speed so much. And ESA is a great feature for sure. It's neat that this motorcycle automatically adjusts damping in real time, but I don't feel a big difference between the road and dynamic settings. I'm also not the biggest fan of the calibration of the suspension. While it delivers a regal ride in a straight line, especially at high speeds, in the corners, the action of the suspension is a little fast for my liking. The bike just moves around more than I would like, and when you're going around turns, it feels a little cumbersome. It still steers very nimbly. It's a very nimble bike, 535 pounds with a full tank of fuel, but it just feels a little porky when you're hustling it around the turns. The suspension's really fast. It just doesn't feel as planted as a typical BMW sport touring rig. Right now we're riding in road mode. 4 available modes to choose from: rain, road, dynamic, and dynamic pro. Dynamic pro and dynamic mode allow you to have a higher degree of riding response. So that means is when you're wailing around corners, the traction control won't take away power as much as if you were riding in the road or rain setting. Those 2 additional engine power mode maps are part of BMW's Ride Modes Pro option, which is also included in the $3,100.50 select package. So again, you just manipulate the mode button, and rain, road are standard, dynamic pro are part of the Ride Modes Pro mode. And that just allows you to ride the motorcycle harder with less electronic intervention. Just like the F900R and XR Duo, which we test rode earlier this spring, I don't feel a difference at all between dynamic pro or dynamic mode. They feel identical to me. Not saying that they aren't separate, but you just can't. I can't feel a difference. Heated grips, cruise control are also part of the select package. This R1250 RS also has this neat BMW Motorrad GPS, which you can purchase as an accessory. The select package also includes some luggage mounts, so you can fix hard luggage to this bike. The hard luggage, I wish it would come standard with that. I mean, this bike it's great and it delivers a very regal ride at speed, but unless you have bags on this thing, it almost is kind of useless, just because it's so big. It's so good at touring, yet it doesn't come with the necessary touring accommodations. So it would have been nice if BMW would include that with the purchase price, because realistically that's what this bike is for upright touring. Now we're riding at 88 miles per hour, cruise control is on. This thing offers a regal ride. I said it a couple times now, but my god, it rides so smooth. It absorbs the bumps so well. Right now you can't even feel there's any bumps. You feel some engine vibration from this Boxer twin, but it's the right kind. It feels like BMW tuned that vibration of this engine like the strings of a guitar. So it's just the right amount of vibes coming through the foot pegs and the handlebar. I like this engine a lot. This engine's smooth. It has exciting character. It has tons of torque. 96 foot-pound of torque at the back tire the last time we dyno tested this motorcycle. 117 ponies at the rear tire. This thing has some serious beans. And what I like about this engine so much too is that it makes its power at such a low RPM. Some people might gripe that, oh god, this engine, it's so wide, it's so old school, blah 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 blah. But I beg to differ. This is a very high-tech engine, and it delivers an experience unlike any other powertrain configuration available. So if you want something unique that's highly calibrated, smooth, refined, gets decent gas mileage, sounds awesome, this R1250 engine is the business. You can hop onto the Apple iOS store and download BMW's Ride Connected app. This app is super slick, and it allows you to pair your phone with the motorcycle and have turn-by-turn navigation directions on that 6.5-inch color screen. Very slick, Other motorcycle manufacturers offer Bluetooth compatible pairing phone apps, but none of them are as slick as this BMW, and it's free, zero cost. BMW's signature multi-function control wheel here on the left, clip-on controls the menu settings. BMW introduced that technology, I think, with the K1600 GTL, and it works well. It takes some figuring out for sure, but what I'd really like to see on this motorcycle is touchscreen compatibility. That would be awesome. If you could just touch things and change the modes like that, that would be really sick. Still, it's a relatively slick setup. Triple disc hydraulic ABS enabled brakes with stainless steel cabling, keeps speed in check. I really like the brakes on this motorcycle. They're very sensitive, but it's sensitive in a good way. Of course, always on ABS keeps it from having any wheel lockup when you're using the brakes aggressively like this. Very nice. Great brakes on this thing. Alright guys, let's turn off the TC and see what she's got. Alright, push this on. Alright, TC is off. And let's see what she's got. Whoa, she spun. Not the best wheelie, guys. I blew it. The rear tire spun a little bit, and then I tried to do it again and I blew it. But this bike has a lot of beans and it can do better wheelies. You just have to execute a little bit better than I did. Sorry everyone. Backing it in, it's not going to back it in. It's got ABS. Impossible. Well guys, this was a fun ride on the R1250 RS. Very maneuverable for its 535 pounds. Very regal ride, but in the canyons it's a little bit, the suspension's a little too fast for my liking. I still do enjoy this motorcycle. BMW has just been killing it with the ultra refined, ultra smooth, well engineered motorcycles. Alright guys, here it is, BMW's 2020 R1250 RS. Big fan of this motorcycle. I love that 1254cc Boxer twin. Just when they can't get any smoother or more powerful or more charismatic sounding, they do. Good job, BMW. I like this motorcycle. It's very comfortable, very, very regal ride. If you're someone who's going to be going far distances and you want a comfortable, easy motorcycle to ride, this RS would do it. Of course, it's not set up to go the distance like the R1250 RT. That is more of a heavyweight sport touring rig. Not the most heavyweight because BMW has the K1600 GTL for that, but definitely a more touring friendly bike. Not saying that you can't tour on this, but it would be nice if BMW included some luggage with the purchase of this motorcycle, because realistically, if you're buying this motorcycle, you're going to want to have some bags on it, because that's what it's really designed for. Alright guys, let's do some Q&A from the old IG machine. Please explain how this isn't the best bike ever, because so far nobody's been able to convince me otherwise. Please explain how this isn't the best bike ever. I don't like that question. Why is everybody so hard over these flexy, underpowered, excessive wide, overpriced, shin-destroying turds? Here's a question. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but this bike is very comfortable. The engine's got tons of charisma. $20,000 as tested with the Select package. They're sick bikes, man. They really are. You know, they're a little bit more expensive than the Japanese equivalent, but, you know, these bikes have so much character and such a lineage and pedigree that you can't find in some of the other Japanese-made motorcycles. So that's why these things are so cool. Can you back it in? No, you can't. ABS. This or the FJR?
Well, the FJR is awesome for sure, but this thing has more charisma. This thing's more comfortable. But the FJR is a better value, and it's got bags, and I don't know, you pick. This or a base GS 1200. They're different bikes. GS is for off-roading or having a little bit of ability to go off-road. This thing is a pure on-road, naked, upright touring rig, so they're not really the same. How does this compare to a 2020 S1000XR? I haven't ridden the new S1000XR, but the S1000XR, just knowing it's going to be a little bit more versatile than this bike. The S1000XR you could take off-road a little bit. I mean, you could take this bike off-road too, I probably would, but the S1000XR is going to be a little bit more in its element. It's got a little bit longer travel suspension and even more upright riding position. This thing's still like a hybrid cross between a sport bike and a touring bike, sans fairing. Two-up riding, yes, if you're a two-up rider, you're going to love this bike. Look at that rider seat. It's huge, well supported. Look at the rear passenger seat. Again, wide, deep, well supported, and there's still that big luggage rack so you can strap things on. If you're a two-up rider, you're going to love this bike. All right, guys, that's a wrap from the 2020 BMW R1250 RS MC Commute. Would I spend my $20,000 on this motorcycle? I would not. I like this bike a lot, but I would get either the RT, which is more touring friendly, which I really would. I mean, that's why I'd buy this bike, is to go far away places, and the RT would do a better job than this bike. But if you're looking for a light-duty, naked-style sport touring rig, this bike definitely could be on the list. All right, guys, that's a wrap from today's MC Commute. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for the next episode from my colleague Michael Gilbert, and then also stay tuned for the next episode with an entirely new route from my new house in Vista, California. Come over anytime and come swimming with me. I got a pool. See you guys.